Hi, I'm Beth Burgess, addiction therapist from Smiles and author of The Recovery Formula and The Happy Addict. Now today we're going to talk about cravings or urges to drink that just seem to come out of nowhere. I've talked a lot about cravings before in other videos. There are specific cravings that we get when we take a drink, which are the strongest of all. They basically make you want to drink more and more and more. That's why we have to be abstinent if you're an addict like me. There are the cravings that you get once you've stopped. Usually they go on for a few months, and it's just part of the not drinking and your body wanting you to drink again. So it kind of tries every trick in the book to get you to drink again. What about those cravings that you get after a while abstinent? Usually you're not completely beset by cravings at this point. What happens is you'll go months and months, maybe years, without any thought of drinking or any thought of relapsing, no intention of doing so, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you've either got a bottle in your hand or you've got a very strong urge just to drink. Now, what's important about this is that these I call these sort of blind spot cravings, because they're different in a way from those early cravings. And you kind of need to treat them slightly differently, because you can't just get to why that happened. You'll often be sitting there scratching your head and thinking, why am I having that craving? I enjoy my sober life. I'm not craving because of anything in particular. I haven't experienced something dreadful happen. I haven't just had an emotional upset that's dreadful and might even just tempt me to drink. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're not tempted to drink over massive emotional upheavals anymore if you've been sober a long time, because you've found new tools and ways of doing things. But sometimes you will, so that's kind of normal, and those times, as I point out in the recovery formula, use your support system that you've put in place, which I hope you all have one. So what about those cravings then, when you're down the road in sobriety, perfectly happy, and suddenly, urge to drink? And this goes for any substance as well, any addiction. So it could be sugar, if you've given up sugar. It could be drugs, obviously, if you've given up drugs. And it doesn't fit into any of the usual categories. It's not, you haven't been triggered by something you're aware of, basically. So what do you do in that situation? Now I'm going to introduce you to something which I like to call mindful inquiry. If you know anything about mindfulness, it's basically about becoming more aware of things, becoming more aware of your environment, yourself, most of all, your body, your brain, how it all works. So that's what mindfulness is. It's being aware. So we're going to use mindful inquiry for this, and I'll give you an example that happened to me fairly recently, actually. So basically I went on holiday with my friend, and I've been on loads of holidays before. I'm not bothered about people around me drinking. It doesn't upset me. It doesn't make me want to drink. So we're on holiday in Greece. Went to Athens. Very nice. And I had this craving to drink like crazy. And what happened, basically, I'd gone to a restaurant with my friend, and what had happened was, this is kind of customary when you're going to somewhere a bit touristy. They'll after your meal they'll offer you something. So in one place we had been offered cake. I'm not really allowed cake because I'm after sugar. So I kind of had a little nibble to be kind, and then sort of forced it down my friend's throat, please eat this, because I didn't want them to be offended. And then at another place we went to, another meal, They came over with a bit of cake, very nice. Did the same thing. Okay, give it to my friend. Go eat that, eat that. And then they came over with some liqueur-y, sort of winey thing. I don't know what it was exactly. But they offered it to us, and I just said, I don't drink, so, you know, and he was like, oh, the waiter was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't be sorry, it's fine, I just don't drink. So, you know, thank you anyway. It was a lovely meal. Then my friend that I was with didn't do that. He actually went, okay, and drank mine as well as his that was offered. Now, again, I've been in this situation before, and it hasn't bothered me. So why this time? We left the restaurant, I had a right old mood on, and I was like cravingy, really bad. And I was like, why do I feel like that? I've been in that situation before, and it hadn't bothered me. So what I did was mindful inquiry. I sat down, and this is the first part of mindful inquiry. Pause, okay? Now, because this could have ended up with me like running off down the off licence in my mood and buying a drink or something. There was plenty all around us, you know, like in every single restaurant. There was loads of bars. I could easily have just gone, well, I'll go and have a drink then. But I didn't want that. So what I did was mindful inquiry. So I paused. Cravings, urges, emotions, none of them are instructions to act. All they give you is information. So I've got information here. I've got a craving coming up. Now there must be a reason behind it. People seem to think that cravings come out of nowhere, and I certainly did think that before. When I was first getting sober, I would sort of find my legs walking towards the off licence. I'm like, why are you doing that? And I thought, that's come out of nowhere. Like, completely out of nowhere. But if you actually take the time to do mindful inquiry properly, then you will find there is a reason why you've got that feeling. Okay? So pause. Take a breath. Notice where your in-breath ends and your out-breath begins. So that's usually your belly or your gut. This is where a lot of people feel their sort of gut instinct about things. And notice what sort of feeling is there. Okay? Now, feelings sometimes have a shape and a colour. Sometimes they can just shout out at you exactly what they are. And I had this sort of horrible kind of like brown, clawy sort of feeling there. And I'm like, what is this? So I kind of felt it. And I sort of thought at the same time. And I noticed that feeling, and I thought, that feeling's a little bit familiar. When have I had that before? And I noticed the feeling, and the thing that came to me was betrayal. I actually felt like I'd been betrayed. Now, like I said, I've been in that situation before, where I haven't had a drink. So why does it come up now? So I thought about it, and I thought, okay, I've been going through a really tough time, which is why I haven't made videos for ages. I'm actually chronically ill, so I'm having a good day today, so I'm making a nice video. So I get sort of neurological symptoms quite a lot, including migraines, including days where I just feel dizzy and I can't even function properly, can't even get out of bed. So I'd kind of like been feeling a bit crappy for a while. I just had like a stretch where I'd been quite ill. We'd been on a long plane journey. I was quite tired. We'd been rushing around beforehand because we kind of just didn't have time to get everything together, like getting, money converted and everything. So it'd been a rush beforehand. So I was really tired out, and being tired out, as you know, if you know anything about hungry, angry, lonely, tired, 4 things which can increase the likelihood of you feeling like you want to relapse or something, because they're just negative things that don't help. So I've got ill, bit angry at my boyfriend, I was tired, and I kind of like, it was all of these things together, and I sort of said to my boyfriend, oh, I know what it is. I feel like, you know I've had a tough time, and then you just sat there and drank in front of me. Not really the most loyal thing to do, not really the most supportive thing to do. Particularly as he'd told me before that he wasn't going to drink anymore. It's not that he's like an alcoholic, but he does have, some tendencies towards going a bit overboard if he does have a drink. He's had other addictions, so he could easily cross over into into alcoholism if he even if he didn't try. So we kind of came to this arrangement because he just was awful when he drank sometimes. He just became unreliable and just, was a bit of a nightmare to deal with. So we came to this agreement where he was like, okay, I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna drink again, but I generally won't drink. So I didn't expect this from him. So it was completely unexpected. It was done at a time when I was feeling kind of vulnerable with my illness and being tired, and I kind of felt just betrayed. Now I told him this, and he started to argue back and saying, "Well, you've done this before and not felt like that. Like, why do you now feel like that?" He sort of started justifying it. I never said I wasn't going to have a drink ever again. And I had to say to him, hang on. This is not about being right or wrong, and this is a really important thing, because the important thing is that you identify why you have that craving. It doesn't matter if you're wrong, even if that feeling is completely wrong, because who's to say? It's not a matter of judgment. It's not something to be judged. Mindful inquiry. It's not something where you say, oh, he's definitely right, actually, I shouldn't be having this craving. Or actually I am right, so, I have a right to my craving. It doesn't matter. The point is you've got the craving. It doesn't matter if it's based on a faulty, thinking process, or, you interpreting the situation wrongly. It doesn't matter. So if you're actually going to tell the person you're with, and I suggest that you do fess up to someone, this is absolutely a vital part of doing this, is that you have to fess up to someone. Alright, you have to say to someone that you trust, I'm having a craving for drinking. Okay, I'm on holiday with my boyfriend. What are we going to go and do? Like, tell the local waiter? No, I had to tell him. So even though he was the cause, he was what was related to it. Cause of it, who knows? Could be my stuff. Could be, completely nonsensical. But that's who was there. That's who I trusted to tell. So I had to say to him, this is not about judgment. Don't judge this as right or wrong. I'm telling you because I don't want to drink. So make that point. If you're telling someone who is involved in a situation, you have to tell them, please don't judge this. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying that I'm wrong. I'm not saying that you're right or wrong. The point is, I am telling you because if I don't tell you, then you don't know I have a craving to drink, and I can secretly go off and have, you're more likely to go and drink if you don't tell someone basically what's going on. And I just said, look, I'm just working out why I think I've got it. So that's really important. So once you've worked out why you think you've got it, there's a couple of things you can do.